Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, a bald explorer out on another walk, and this is part 2 of my walk with Nick Tann, artist and musician, or artist, musician? Yeah, you're an artist, aren't you?
More of a songwriter.
Songwriter,
performer, let's say that.
Okay. I'm with Nick Tann. There's no retakes in this. So I'm with Nick Tann, songwriter and
just a human.
A human with a guitar strapped to his back. We're in Hampshire walking up a second part of St Catherine's Hill, probably a part that few people climb and visit, because you've got behind me in the distance there, you've got the main part of St Catherine's Hill. We haven't yet reached that. We're leaving that as our penultimate our climax in this one, which is over there. But we've crossed the M3 now.
Yep.
And we're up on a very windy summit here, looking around the Hampshire Downs, I suppose it is.
Well, yes, it's the South Downs.
The South Downs, yeah, in Hampshire.
This is the edge of it.
Brilliant. Where are we going to from here?
We're going to go through that style. I can't remember what it's like up here, to be honest with you. I came up here a few years ago, and in the summer it's absolutely gorgeous because there's lots of butterflies up here.
You were telling me before we started filming that it's owned by the Hampshire Wildlife Trust.
Well, no, it's managed.
Managed.
It's managed because it's a triple SI, which is a site of special scientific interest. There are special regulations to how you can use the land.
Right.
And instead of
I'll let you do the fence.
Okay.
Sorry.
And instead of employing somebody, which the college can do, instead of employing having employees that manage it in the correct fashion, which the college do is they employ Hampshire Wildlife Trust to do it for them. So
right.
They'll say, well, can you do this for us? And Hampshire Wildlife Trust will work out how much it will cost them to get staff, etc., and they'll manage it in the correct fashion because they know what they're doing.
Yes, absolutely. And so part of that management is protecting the rare butterfly species and that sort of thing.
Yeah, there's quite a few rare plants here as well, orchids and rare butterflies that feed off the rare orchids.
So its own habitat then.
Its own habitat, its own environment. Yes.
Yeah. You can hear that road. We crossed in the end of the last video the M3, which tears up from Southampton to London. It as well as blighting the landscape that it cuts through, it's pretty noisy, isn't it? It's
very noisy, very, very noisy. You don't really seem to escape it.
No, which is a real pity if you're keen to get away from the hurly-burly of city life or town life and just get out into the country.
That's right. You can see here, which is a bit interesting, this ground here. We were saying earlier on when we were walking, you can't see much evidence of it being chalky. But here you can just see along this field here, the chalk and the flint is all up on the surface.
As we were walking around the dry valley at the bottom of St Catherine's Hill, you had a lot of this quite thick and, fair to say, soggy clay. But as you say, if we move over into the field where the crops are growing, and I won't trespass too far, or it's just grass putting nutrients back or whatever, but you can see here the stony flints. Great swathe of a field to be ploughed.
And then you can carry on walking along here and right down to the south coast.
We've come to the top. This is the other side of St Catherine's.
It is.
We're going to return now.
We are. We're going to go back
to St Catherine's proper, get up to the top where there's an Iron Age hill fort, a ring of beech trees, and
the mizmaze.
A mizmaze.
Mizmaze.
I'm mesmerised by the mizmaze. So keep watching, and we'll take you there now. Off we go.
Okay, let's go.
Well, Nick, we've come off the we've crossed the motorway again.
We have,
as we did before, and we're now climbing up towards the summit of St Catherine's Hill that everybody thinks of, with the beech trees and the.
That's right. And the mizmaze.
And the mizmaze, yes. This is sort of the back end of the hill, if you were coming from Winchester,
Yes.
there's a front end which we've deliberately avoided.
We have.
Mainly because the hordes go that way.
They do go that way. Damn those hordes.
And while we're not sort of saying that's a bad thing, it's nice to sort of get away from the world and his brother. I mean, that's one of the purposes of getting out onto the hills.
It is, and also it wouldn't make very good video, would it? It's just lots of people walking up with their
Walking
dogs
their
and
dogs.
their kids.
Exactly. But this end is becoming more popular. I understand. But
Yes.
we do get some more views. You get to see the dry valley, or at least the edge of it.
I don't know if people
Behind
can get
us.
a sense of it, but it's
Yeah.
very windy.
Yeah, my golden locks are obviously flapping
Yeah.
about in the breeze. I'm curious also on the summit. You said within the beech trees was a chapel
That's right.
of St. Catherine's. Do you know from what period that was?
No,
Good. We might be able to find out
we might be able to find out.
en route up. Here we go. We're coming up to the ramparts, or one of the
Oh, yeah.
many
Well,
ramparts.
there's a few different tiers, so often
So-
if you're climbing up this,
A bit like Maiden Castle in Dorset, and even at Sisbury Ring, with the sort of ditch and then further ramparts.
it's a nice looking incline. We're gonna.
Yeah, nice little bit here to climb up. You've taken up running, I understand.
I have.
Yeah, so you should be able to just sprint up here. We're nearly there. So I can see the beech trees in front of us, and I guess, and if we just have a look to the side, you see the rest of the what I suppose would have been the palisade wall back in the Iron Age hill fort. All along here would have been chalky white exposed, and then the palisade of wood, a blockade to protect it back then. Let's head up northwards now to the beech trees, and we'll find that mizmaze too. We're at the summit, ladies and gentlemen. We've made it.
We've made it.
We've both removed our hats. It's still windy.
Still windy, but
But,
the trees are helping actually. The trees behind, I think, are sort of
Yeah.
cutting it.
Let's go into the beech trees in a circle
Yeah.
and see what's there. I gather there's no remnants at all of the chapel.
No, not that I can remember.
No.
I don't think there are anything. Just these trees, I
Just
think.
these trees. I'm guessing this is then pretty sacred, because the chapel, no doubt, was built because there was a pagan site here earlier.
I thought
I'm
so,
guessing,
yeah.
because that's a very classic thing to do.
Yeah.
Massive beech trees, which are what, 70 feet, something like that?
Something like that, I'd have thought,
They're pretty high above us.
They're
Coming
amazing,
up
aren't they?
onto
There's no
this
branches down here, and they sort of sprout at the top.
beautiful. And here we are on what's like a classic motte on a Motte and Bailey castle,
Yeah.
if we did but not know it. And the birds are, crows are all around, flapping about, causing their mischief. How beautiful. Yeah, amazing trees.
Quite amazing this part, I think, because it's completely different from any other part of this hill.
Yes, and once these trees are fully leafed, and
Oh, yeah.
it must be a magical place in here with the sun streaming through.
Yeah.
It
The
must be
temperature
pretty
drops
good.
quite a lot in the summer here. It's a nice
Yeah,
place to come
it's
up.
dropped now.
Yeah,
I mean, it's cold, but we're warm from the climb.
we are. And then I can see the mizmaze. It's just over there.
Let's go and let's have a look at the mizmaze. So here, ladies and gentlemen, is the mizmaze. It won't come over as dramatic as perhaps it does if you were above, because the mizmaze is not a maze in the traditional way, is it? Because there's no hedges.
No.
It's let's have a wander around. We're allowed on it, aren't we? Presumably. And you were just telling me before I filmed this section that possibly the boys from Winchester College may have come up here and invented this game, which is why it's here.
Winchester College has a game that's particular to the college. I can't remember for the life of me what it's called. I'm sure there'll be people that do know. And I think they did play that game up here. but they know they play it down by the river. So I think this might be something to do with that, although I'm not too sure.
Do you know when it dates from?
No,
No.
none of that either.
I mean, I had a quick look on online about mizmazes, and there's only half a dozen or so in the country, and they are designed. Although they're called a maze, it's almost like one continuous line that's dug in and goes around to make this pattern. Many of them are circular, and this is slightly different because it is actually squared off, but with round corners. So Nick Tann, songwriter and musician.
Indeed.
Thank you very much for
You're
taking
very welcome.
me up onto St Catherine's
It's
Hill.
gorgeous, isn't it?
It's been absolutely wonderful.
It's bracing.
It is bracing.
It's bracing.
I'm glad I got my braces on.
Freezing.
So join us again. You're going to take me on some other walks today.
I am.
And we'll be putting those up also. So join us again for more walks. Do check out Nick Tann's page at Nick Tann.
My website. Just Google me.
Google him.
Google me.
Google him, you'll find him.
I love it.
And we'll see you on the next one. Till then, let's go and have a cup of coffee.
Shall we?
Yeah.